Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Awais Khalid, Senior Registrar in Medical Unit 5. Today we will going to discuss about a drug-induced liver injury. This is a case. 50-year-old non-diabetic, non-alcoholic male was prescribed ATT for pulmonary tuberculosis 1 week after starting ATT. He, he presented in emergency with complaint of vomiting and yellow discoloration of eyes. His lab shows Hb 10.8 gram per liter. TLC platelet counts were normal. Hepatitis B and C was negative. But his ALT was 270 international unit per liter. Bilirubin was 5.2. Alkaline phosphatase was 150 international unit. Ultrasound abdomen was normal. All his LFTs were normal 1 week ago before the start of ATT. So, what could be the possibility in this case? As in this scenario, patient is non-alcoholic and non-diabetic and is not having chronic hepatitis B or C, and ultrasound is also normal. So, probably he has drug-induced hepatitis, and as he has taken ATT, so the drugs causing hepatitis are isoniazid and rifampicin. How will you investigate this case? We have to rule out all other causes of acute viral hepatitis like hepatitis A and E, and also work up for the Wilson disease and hemochromatosis as he is non-diabetic, so non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and alcoholic fatty liver disease is out, and no other chances as he is male, chances of autoimmune hepatitis is less likely. It's basically a diagnosis of exclusion. How will you manage him? We have to stop all the antituberculous drugs that are causing hepatitis. Isoniazid and rifampicin will be stopped, and he will be prescribed with liver-friendly antituberculous drugs. So this is a picture showing that the uh, on the left side are the drugs. How these drugs that when we intake these drugs, they are metabolized, and their active their metabolites are then excreted from the kidneys as well as from the liver, and in some cases there are bimodal mode of excretion. These drugs have covalent binding and hepatization, causing oxidative stress and leading to the liver injury because of mitochondrial injuries and endoplasmic reticulum injuries. All these mechanisms going to lead to the apoptosis and cell necrosis of the liver tissues. There are some host factors like genetic, race, ethnicity, gender, age, reproductive state, nutrition, lifestyle, and other comorbidities and medication that the patient was consuming. The In order to understand, we have to see the pattern of the liver injury and qualification of the liver injury to understand the drug-induced liver injuries. Qualification of the lung injuries, qualification of the liver injury for practical and scientific purpose is made by the liver biochemistry. ALT 5 times more than the upper normal limit, alkaline phosphatase more than 2 times upper normal limit, alkaline ALT more than 3 times upper normal limit, and total bilirubin more than 2 times upper normal limit. And the pattern of the liver injury is classified according to the R factor, that is the ratio between ALT into normal ALT upper normal limit divided by the alkaline phosphatase into upper normal limit alkaline phosphatase. So by this we got the hepatocellular damage if the R score is more than equal or more than 5. Cholestatic picture is seen if R factor is less than or equal than 2, and we have mixed picture if it is between 2 and 5. Liver biopsy is not available in most instances. So we have hepatocellular, cholestatic and mixed picture as a result of drug-induced liver injury. In some cases, we have to evaluate that the drug-induced autoimmune hepatitis, for example, drugs like hydralazine, minocycline, methyl-dopa, statins, these are the drugs that cause drug-induced autoimmune hepatitis that are presented in the similar way as autoimmune hepatitis. However, they are only differentiated by their drug history. We have to rule out the other causes of the hepatitis in these patients as well. Multidisciplinary team should be make decision regarding the corticosteroid treatment of immune mediated hepatitis associated with immune checkpoint inhibitors. For drug-induced hepatitis, drug-induced autoimmune hepatitis, role of steroid is still controversial. Not in every case we have to go for the steroids. If the patient is improving without any steroid, only by the stopping of these drugs, we have to continue with the same regime by stopping these drugs and no need for starting the steroids. Drug-induced scantic sclerosing cholangitis in some patients with cholestatic pattern of drug-induced liver injuries with slow resolution of liver injury and characteristic changes in biliary system. These are the type of liver injury: cholestasis. Pure cholestasis can occur with high dose estrogens. 50 microgram per day used as a contraceptive pills can lead to cholestasis. Other drugs are chlorpromazine, antibiotics like flucloxacillin, comoxiclav, anabolic steroids that are mostly used by the bodybuilders and athletes. Hepatocyte necrosis. This is seen in cases of patient taking paracetamol, isoniazid, NSAIDs, herbal remedies including germander, comfrey, jinbao, hon, and recreational drugs like ecstasy. Steatosis. We have seen microvesicular and both macrovesicular hepatocyte fat deposition in patients with drug-induced liver injuries. Microvesicular hepatocyte fat deposition is seen in cases of patient taking tetracycline and sodium valproate, and macrovesicular fats is seen in tamoxifen and amiodarone. Vascular and sinusoidal lesions are seen in patients taking anchalating agents like busulfan and azathioprine. And methotrexate, as we know, hepatic fibrosis is the common cause of the liver damage. Withdrawal of these drugs associated with nodular regenerative hyperplasia, as they may be considered risk factor. We have to rule out the possibility of hepatocellular carcinoma, as these regenerating nodules are look similar to the early hepatocellular carcinoma on ultrasound. So they should be kept under vision and repeated scan should be done. And we have to rule out, perhaps we have to rule out the other causes like hepatitis C, B, E, And consider liver biopsy in patients suspected of drug induced liver injuries when you have ruled out all other etiological factors like hepatitis, Wilson's, hemochromatosis, fatty livers, autoimmune hepatitis, and you still have doubt about the diagnosis, then liver biopsy should be done. HLA genotyping may be used to support the diagnosis of drug induced liver injury due to specific drugs or to distinguish the drug induced liver injury from autoimmune hepatitis. HLA genotyping HLA DQ8 genotype is seen in autoimmune hepatitis. Prognosis: short term administration of cholestyramine may be used to decrease the course of hepatotoxicity induced by very selected drugs such as leflunomide or terbinafine. Carnitine may be used to improve the course of valproate hepatotoxicity. Management of drug induced acute liver failure. Liver transplantation should be considered as a therapeutic option for all cases of acute liver failure due to drug induced. As we know, in cases of paracetamol toxicity, the option that should be kept in mind is liver transplantation if the patient is not improving. Adults with idiosyncratic drug-induced acute liver failure should receive N-acetylcysteine early in the course. That is in hepatic encephalopathy grade 1 and 2. So this is all about the drug-induced liver injury. I hope you understood well. This is the topic that you may come across in your MCQs. Thank you.